Greetings, Internet. My name's Chris, and this is Hel Rah Citadel and how to defeat it. Hel Rah Citadel is a fair bit easier, or not easier, a fair bit more difficult than Aetherian Archive. It's definitely not easier. There's no stacking in here, at least not as much. So yeah. First off, you're gonna ride across this great expanse here. You have the option to go left or right. I go right, which is the quickest path, but it requires you to jump. If you miss that jump, you're gonna die. Before you begin, you tend to split up the groups. This is always a good idea, even if you're not doing a speedrun. You want to have a bottom group and a top group. The tank goes in a bottom group with 1 healer and 4 DPSs, and the top group goes without a tank and with 1 healer and 5 DPSs. For the top group, you want to have 5 people with ranged interrupts, either Venom Arrow or Crushing Shock. Okay, just as you come across the bridge here, the tank wants to pull the aggro of these enemies here. What I do is I tend to just move along a little bit faster than the rest of my group. The rest of the group should be just slowly moving up as the tank gets the attention of all the enemies here. You can see I use entropy because it's a ranged attack. It's fairly inexpensive to use as well, and I just use that to get the attention of all of them. Then we group them up, I drop a negate, and then we just hammer them down. It's good to have Dragon Knights with you for their chains, because they can just pull in everything to the group and you can just AoE it down. Alright, we're gonna come up to the prelude to the first boss. This is a group containing the same amount of same kind of soldiers that you just fought before. Some archers and some warriors, and then it has 4 of these war priests. As a tank, you get the attention of all 4 of them, because they do have some nasty heavy attacks that, if not blocked, will do quite a lot of damage. After you kill them, you get these 5 flame shapers. You can see we have Dragon Knights chaining them in, and then we just AoE them down. The flame shapers will do this spinning fire circle of doom or whatever, and you just make sure to interrupt them when that happens, because that will do a lot of damage to your entire group. When the first boss comes out, the tank wants to pull the aggro of them, or of him, and the DPSs and the rest of the group will focus on the ads first. You can see here as a DPS, you hit the guy with the blue banner first, the destroyer. This guy does the most amount of damage of the 3 ads here. So you just want to focus him down and then kill the 2 war priests. After you kill the 3 ads, you want to focus on the boss. Watch out for his blades that he will toss out. You can hold block to take less damage from it. And also make sure you watch out for the whirlwinds. When the boss hits 30%, he's gonna do his sort of own kind of whirlwind, where you just have to run away from it if you're the tank. I've seen some Dragon Knight tanks being able to soak up the damage thanks to green dragon blood, but yeah. I don't recommend doing that. Bottom group goes left, top group goes right. And see, we just sneak in here. We sneak to avoid having to deal with the ads that spawn. You don't have to kill these, contrary to popular belief. There has been a lot of misconception about Hel Rah Citadel, since a lot of misinformation was spread by a lot of good players. And this misinformation was basically just that you have to kill everything in order to get a complete. It's definitely not true at all. But that was something that people were doing like 2 or 3 months ago, because yeah, that's what they'd heard. But it's not true. You don't have to kill everything. You just have to kill the bosses, basically. You can see here, because I did a shitty dodge roll in through the door, we pull some aggro of the archers and the war priest. Usually you can avoid these by dodge rolling through the door. Again, as I said, top group, as you see right now, has to have ranged interrupts. This is important for the boss on the top group. Let's see, we have person hitting the lever over here so that bottom group can move through. Again, we sneak to avoid having to deal with these guys. You can see these two are gargoyles, and they are quite annoying to deal with. In Hel Rah Citadel, they will turn you to stone if you stand in front of them by a sort of forward-facing cone attack. Bottom group, it helps if you line of sight those guys to group them up. It's pretty simple though, I mean, it's not rocket science, that's for sure. After you kill them, you move up these steps. Make sure you hit the lever to let the bottom through. See, that's a lever. If you have the quest, it'll be marked by the quest. Okay, bottom moves into the right. This is to avoid fire from the catapults, since it will not go to this corner. I think you could probably also move to the other corner and the other side of the room, but I prefer standing in this one. You get greeted by these three guys to begin with. Watch out for the Welvers. You don't want to stand behind them. If you've fought a Welver before, you know that they do a backwards facing kick. This will, in Hel Rah Citadel, do a lot of damage, especially from the bigger and more aggressive armored Welvers. As a tank, you just want to move out and pull the aggro of these guys because they don't always come to you. For the second wave, they will come to you all. Second wave contains 4 armored Welvers, 2 destroyers, and 4 archers. Usually you want to kill the archers first. If you have a Dragon Knight with you, you want to chain them in. But if you have good damage, you can also kill the bigger guys first. The archers are very annoying though, because they will do these AoE circles and forward-facing cones and all this stuff. Yeah, it's definitely not fun. So you kill them, and then you trigger the third wave. Third wave contains, I think, 2 armored Welvers and 2 flame shapers. Make sure you interrupt the flame shapers because they will do a lot of damage to your group with that attack, as you see right here. Just interrupt them, do a bash, do a crushing shock, or do a venom arrow, whatever you need to interrupt them. After you kill the third wave, you're gonna open the gate and get the boss. But before that, we're gonna swap to top group. For the top group, once you come up the steps, you want to kill this little group here. If you have the destroyer beam on you, it also helps to hold block. Make sure you're not standing right on top of your mates, because it will do AoE damage when it explodes. After you kill these guys here, single out the footmen among the catapults and kill those. Take care that you don't aggro the 2 gargoyles. So just precision fire. Yeah, it's basically all you need. Now you don't need to destroy the catapults to stop them from firing. You just need to kill the people next to them. And that's what we're doing right here. This is a great help for the bottom group. It's not necessary at all, but it helps a lot, because if these catapults are still going, the bottom group will have a lot of trouble with the boss, especially because you have to move around a little bit for that one. You see, bottom group, the tank wants to pull the aggro of the 2 armored Welvers. If you kill these Welvers, they'll just respawn, so just focus on the boss if you're a DPS. Also make sure you put a taunt on the boss once in a while. His arrows don't do a lot of damage, but it's still 200 when you block, so it's about 600 or 700 if you don't block. It helps a lot, just to take the strain off the healer. The boss will also toss out this fire, as you see in the back. it will go out in these sort of flame lines similar to Vet DSA or City of Ash, if you tried either of those. If you get hit by the flames, you will have a flame dot on you, and this is sometimes what makes it a little bit rough for the healer, at least in the bottom group. After you kill the boss, someone can run to the back and pull the lever and you can move out. You don't have to kill these guys, so it's a little bit of a time saver, especially if you're doing a speedrun. So yeah, just get my shitty purple trash loot and run out. I just taunted to make sure that it is looking at me. Alright. On the top group, you want to kill the group here. After you kill the group, the boss will come out. Now you will have 4 designated corners that you'll have to go through, or go to, or point at when the boss splits. You'll see what I mean here in a second once we get the boss out. Alright, we kill these guys. Right here where I'm standing next to, that was lever. In the back where we group up, that's torch. To the left of torch is twig. It's basically just a little branch. And then in the very back next to the boss, behind the boss, is statue. These are the 4 designated corners where the boss will split to. And you need to have one person pointing at each of them and interrupting with their venom arrow or their crushing shock. Now the boss is bugged and has been for the longest while because sometimes the ats won't spawn in their designated corners, they'll spawn in the middle, which is a little bit of a pain because it sort of negates having that sort of a tactic. You can see on the left nothing spawned, in my corner something spawned. That guy focuses on that one, so I know, okay, I'll just pick one of the ones in the middle. If you're up top, you want to watch out, yeah, you don't get too close, because if you get too close, they'll hit you with the impulse. Also watch out for the meteors. Meteors will do a lot of damage. It's basically just rinse and repeat. You want to kill this guy as quickly as you can, simply because well, sometimes if you lose one person it can get rough, and if you lose more people it's really rough. And a lot of the times when you're running with a new group, top group is where people always die because they don't interrupt well enough. They think they can just do normal damage, but you really just want to focus and interrupt stuff. It's very simple. Again, you just get your purple vendor trash and move through the gate. Then you reconvene with bottom group. Usually top group is the quickest of the two. There's a horn behind us, as you can see. If you hit that, you'll get an achievement and you'll pull all the aggro of the enemies up here. I don't recommend doing it if you're doing a speed run, but there are certain ways to deal with it if you want to do that, if you want to get that tactic for people. As a tank, you want to take aggro of the 2 gargoyles, pull them with the group. Make sure you point them away from people, because if they do their forward facing cone attack, they'll turn your entire group to stone, and that's usually when people die, when they all get turned to stone. Again, Dragonite is just chain and stuff. It's quite simple. You can see the damage here is quite nice. The AoE damage is good, so we kill stuff really quickly. Alright, we're moving through this door here. Something I didn't mention is that just before the final boss of every trial, there are 3 things that you can destroy to activate hard mode. In Aetherian Archive you have 3 orbs, and as you see coming up here, we have 3 statues for Hel Rah Citadel. If you destroy all 3, you're gonna trigger hard mode. See, I'm just jumping in the water here Some people seem to think that if you stand in the water you're gonna pull aggro off the boss. It's not true, you just have to be close to him to pull aggro. So it doesn't have to do with the water at all. Like, people seem to come up with the funniest things for this. Alright, we're standing in the blue stuff here. And as a tank, I make sure that the boss is just at the very edge, so everyone can stand in the blue and still reach him. The blue gives you an additional damage. Also, a little thing I did was dodge roll between the legs of the boss. This is usually not a good idea because sometimes he'll hit you with a swing as you dodge roll. But it looks cool, so I keep doing it. And see, this is footage from my DPS. It's quite simple, just keep standing in the stuff, don't get too far away from the boss, don't get too close. If you get too far away from the boss, he's gonna start doing his jump. If he jumps, that's bad. And if he jumps, you know you're too far away from him. He's gonna break the first statue over by the circle that nobody uses. Then he's gonna jump because we're too far away from him. He also has a thing where he tosses out a shield. And as you can see, we're dealing with 2 destroyers here. The ads will spawn after a certain amount of time. I'm not sure the exact timing of it, but yeah. Alright, he destroys the blue circle, and now we just gather around the middle. And here you'll quickly notice that some people are too far away because he instantly jumps. See, he jumps here. It means people are too far away, so you want to get close and not too close. Here's the shield going out. And in a second here you'll see the flame shapers coming out. If you take too long on the boss, he's gonna activate, I think, about 8 at once, and that's usually when people just wipe. So you have 2 flame shapers. I always just take aggro to ease the pressure on my group. If the healers only have to heal 1 person, it's very easy. It's basically my philosophy. Once the boss gets to 35%, he's gonna explode. You don't want to stand too close because his first attack will be similar to the shield. It's a cleave, it's called, and it'll probably kill you if you stand inside the red. Then he's gonna do a swing and then the starfall. On the starfall you want to group up on the boss, drop your veil, drop your nova, just 1 of each, mind, and then move away because he's gonna do a cleave again. Then he's gonna do 2 forward facing swings. These will knock people on their asses if they're standing in front. Here comes another swing. Then he's gonna do a cleave again, but you can see we kill him too quickly. But yeah, that's Hel Rah Citadel. You can see 12 minutes 35 seconds. It's not a bad time at all. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found this enjoyable or helpful in some way. Bye.